one last thing. Would you please enjoy the show? Ladies and gentlemen, Rudi Harst, Ready or Not.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to see you all. I'd like to start by singing of my favorite person in the whole wide world. I'd like to tell you about a woman I know, a real good friend of mine. It makes me smile just to think of her and how she makes life shine. She can think on her feet, has no need to compete or struggle with circumstances. No problems too big, no loopholes too small for her to take her chances. She says it's just a question of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Life's being served on a silver platter, and I want to savor it all. I want to savor it all. Like my friend Wallace, he's from Nicaragua, living in Oakland right now. He used to be rich and famous, now he's working as a janitor. He's doing fine anyhow. You see, he and his wife had to flee from Managua with just what they wore or could carry. He doesn't own much, says he doesn't need much. It's enough to be alive and still in love with the one he married. No te preocupes, hombre, he says, don't worry, man. It's just a question of mind over matter. If you don't mind, yeah, life's being served on a silver platter, and I want to savor it all. I want to savor it all. Yeah, though things may seem blessed and they may seem cursed, appear to go from bad to worse, but life is for living, got no time to rehearse. Yeah, life is for living right now. That's what Adam says, and he should know, because Adam the artist is 93 years old and still working 16, 18 hours a day. Painting, sculpting, writing, drawing, trying to shed light on the way. And he eats just a handful, sleeps 2 or 3 hours. His dear wife is dying, there's so much to be done. 93 years later, he's still growing strong, and he says that he's only just begun. And it's just a question of mind over matter. If you don't mind, hey, yeah, life's being served on a silver platter, and I want to savor it all. I want to savor it all. Thank you. We're going to have fun. You're a great mutter-along audience, I can tell. I wrote that song for an album I recorded almost 30 years ago, when I still believed it was true. I totally believed that I could use my mind to control matter in the world. That if I could just stay focused on positive thinking and visualization and affirmation, I could manifest my heart's desires and make the world a better place in alignment with the way I thought the world should be. I was sure of it. And tell the truth, I still believe that somewhat, but as I've gotten older, I've come to understand that it's not that simple. Life's more complicated than that, and what I think and believe does have effect in the world, but the world does not rotate around me. And consequently, I know there's a whole lot I need to learn. And the most important thing I've learned is that I don't know very much. And about the only thing I'm sure of these days is that I'm not sure of much of anything anymore. Which is just as well, because being absolutely right and knowing everything turned out to be a whole lot of work that I just don't need that anymore. Yeah. And I still like to spend my time thinking about things, trying to make sense of the world, trying to make sense of the fact, for instance, that I live in a 72-year-old body, and I'm still just 35 years old. And, ready or not, I am a senior citizen. I mean an older adult. I've been told I can't say senior citizen. That's no longer politically correct. The term is older adult. But whatever you call me, I'm older than I used to be, and having to deal with changes in my body, like needing to sit more often. Yeah, just the way it is. And some changes, you know, like changing the tuning on my guitar, checking it. Yeah. And putting capos, these little devices, I use this to change the distance from my nut to wherever I'm making chords. I change keys by changing these capos. And it's a little complicated, and it took some learning, but I learned how to do that change. It's a whole lot harder having to deal with the changes in my body and in the world around me. And my most recent change, I'm really struggling with this one. My primary care doctor said I've got high cholesterol, and she put me on what's it called? It's anti-aging, anti-inflammation, heart-healthy diet. She had some acronym for it. I forget what it is. But anyway, it boils down to no sugar, no fat, no fried foods, less wheat, more fiber, no dairy. No dairy? For a Dutchman, no cheese, and no butter, much less no chocolate. And like, and I tell myself, stay positive, count your blessings, cholesterol is just a number, age is just a number. And then I say, yeah, right. Who am I trying to fool? Because, I don't know. I wear this watch. The wristband was made by Rex Foster, a fabulous, some of you may know him, fabulous singer, songwriter, late, great Rex Foster, good friend, and a great jeweler. And the watch is just a Timex with extra big numbers, makes it easy for me to read, but the buckle of the wristband is made from woolly mammoth tusk, ethically sourced. Rex was always real careful to explain that. But hand carved by him, and 15 to 20,000 years old. So on this side, it's, a watch. It keeps the time by the second. And this time, 15,000 years, give or take. What does it matter? Age is just a number. Live in the now. And then I think, yeah, you're trying to fool yourself, Rudy. Time. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the rhythm of the clock, reminding me the time is short, although the night seemed long. There's precious little time to wait. Get up and greet the dawn. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the rhythm of the clock, counting down the minutes while hours tick away, disappearing in the haze, becoming yesterday. Get up and greet the morning. The clock says loud and clear, no matter where you'd rather be, you're nowhere else but here. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the rhythm of the clock, reminding me the time is now to choose what will be done. Close my eyes, go back to sleep, or rise and greet the dawn. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Yeah, most mornings I wake up early. I like to greet the sun. I like to get up and feel my grateful heart and do my stretches and get centered, get focused on the day ahead. And some days, I just want to say, man, stuck in the yuck, feel like I'm dragging this wrinkled old meat suit around, full of aching muscles and sore bones. Like yesterday morning, my knee was really stiff again, and just so sore. It's been more than 5 years since I had that total knee replacement, the titanium joint that was supposed to fix everything. And it's better than it was back when it was bone on bone and it really hurt. Now it's just sore and stiff and sometimes hard to move and hard to want to move. And I told my doctor that when I went to the last checkup, and I said to the orthopedic surgeon, it's just so sore. Can we do anything? And he said, Rudy, you should be grateful. You're in the 95th percentile of all my knee patients in terms of flexibility and range of motion and strength of muscles. That's good. And this is as good as it's going to get. And at my age, I can reasonably expect to live another 10, 20 it's not just my knee, it's my back and my neck and my shoulder and my hands. I look down at my hands and I see my mother's fingers. Exactly like my mother's fingers, these knuckles. And I remember that in her last years, she couldn't hold a knife or fork, much less hold a pen to write with. And I find myself wondering, when they get so stiff and sore, how much longer can I play guitar? And for me, that's a big deal, because I've been playing guitar pretty much every day since February 1964, the day I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. Yeah. How many of you saw that first Beatles show? Yeah, right, okay. You know what I'm talking about. That came exploding off the screen like nothing I'd ever seen before. You know, and it's, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. Oh, man, and was I glad to see the Beatles. I took one look at them, and I said, I want to do that. I want to play guitar like that. I want to be like that. And fortunately, my dad had a guitar, which he was willing to let me use. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to play it because I'd never paid attention to him while he was playing, you know, gonna play a sentimental journey, gonna... But this was different. I wanted to play rock and roll guitar. So, the very next day after school, I got on my bike and rode downtown to Ye Olde Music Shoppy, where Miss Jane Kirby helped me pick out a beginner's guitar book of chords, just chords. But I took it back home, and I sat down and I looked that book and I started working on the chord. But I stayed with it. And I kept working on the chords till they sounded all right. And then a buddy taught me a couple of songs, you know. Come on and shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. And I played that song over and over and over. It must have driven my parents crazy. But I really wanted to do that, so I just stuck with it. And it paid off. You know why? A few months later, I was asked to be lead singer and rhythm guitarist of the Hodads. The Hodads! We were cool. Actually, we weren't bad, mostly because we had Paul McLaughlin on lead guitar. And Paul was the real deal. I mean, he was good. He went on to have a great career in the music business, played with some of the top names in country music. And I wasn't nearly as good as Paul, but I was determined. I stayed with it. I worked on my chops. I worked on my moves. I worked on combining my chops with the moves in front of the mirror, keeping eye contact. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no good reaction. So I tried, and I tried, and I tried. Oh boy, did I try. And it was so much fun, and we were having fun, and we were just doing it for fun. But I'll never forget the first day we got paid to play. $25 each to play at Kitty Schneider's birthday party. Now, you got to understand, at the time I was making $2 for mowing my neighbor's yard. Or if I was lucky, $3.50 to wax Mrs. Horrock's big Ford Fairlane. I'm talking hours of hard work under the hot Texas sun for a few dollars. And here I made $25 playing guitar while the kids were looking at us and clapping and dancing and yeah. And I said to myself, this is it. I'm going to be a professional musician. It's had its ups and downs, but it's been a good life. That's mostly what I've done for the last few years. So, who will I be if I can't play guitar anymore. I mean, playing guitar is not just what I do, it's who I am. Who will I? And the thing is, somehow I had assumed that I would be magically immune from the effects of aging by virtue of 5 decades of vegetarian eating, and organic, and all those hours spent doing Tai Chi and meditating and getting centered, going to weekend workshops, reading self-help books about letting the golden light flow down, down, down through the cosmos, through my chakras, out into the world, expressing as vitality and energy and eternal beingness. Only to end up with this. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be one of those guys who just sits around complaining about his physical ailments and ready to give you all the gory details of the latest doctor's appointment. I don't want to be that guy. I just sound like it right this minute. And I know I'm not unique. I know that there's a number of people in this room who've got physical ailments they're dealing with, some considerably worse than mine. But what's the point of comparing suffering? It just is what it is, right? And I'm coming to peace with it. I don't want to get stuck in a box labeled senior citizen. I mean, older adult. I don't, whether that box is created by my own limited perceptions or by somebody else outside looking at me as if I'm somehow less than I used to be because I've got more years on me and because I've got some physical infirmities. I know that I'm more than my body. I believe we're all more than our bodies, and I want to focus on that moreness. I don't want to focus on losses and being less than. I want to be open to all the more that's still coming and wanting to unfold. And I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles, and it's hard to explain in words, which is why I wrote a song about it. It goes something like this. Getting old is getting old. There's no two ways about it. They say each day's a blessing, and some days I kind of doubt it. 'Cause my aches and pains just multiply, my pounds and inches too. There's more of me than there used to be, and less that I can do or want to. It's hard to find new pants that fit, and then they're not in style. And every flight of stairs I climb feels like a half a mile. My closet's full of old baggy clothes, that's all I seem to wear. I hate to have to admit it, but I really just don't care. Yeah, 'cause getting old is getting old, but I'm doing the best I can. 'Cause I'm still a bright-eyed little kid inside this middle-aged man. 72 is middle-aged, right? I know, who am I fooling? I know there's another verse to the song. Oh yeah, that the one about memory. I just keep forgetting more, remembering less and less. And I'm so darn indecisive, of that I'm sure I guess. I do my best to stay positive and focused on the light, but it's hard to be when you got to pee 3 or 4 times a night. Yeah, you go and laugh, you young whippersnapper. It's getting old. It's getting old. But I'm doing the best I can. 'Cause I'm still a bright-eyed little kid inside this older adult man. I comb my hair, what's left of it, so carefully each day. My hairdresser says I should highlight it, but it still be shades of gray. When I was a young hippie man, I swore I'd always keep my hair long. But then it got so thin and limp, it simply looked all wrong, long. So now I keep it cut kind of short, but it really matters not. For me, the key to happiness is being grateful for what I got. Yeah, getting old is getting old, and still it means a lot that the little kid inside this well-aged man can finally be happy with what he's got, and it's a lie. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm incredibly, incredibly lucky. I've gotten to spend my whole adult life doing what I love to do, juggle words and music for a living. It's great. While living with Zet Bear. Poof. I mean, happily married, doing what I love. Yes, sir. So I don't know. Can I confess something? And this is tough. I don't like to admit it out loud. But sometimes I get the feeling I don't know how to be me anymore. I'm just bummed out. Okay, let me just go ahead and say the word. I'm depressed. I get depressed by feeling that I've outlived myself here, that life is just so fast-paced and youth-oriented and computer-based, and I just don't do well in cyberspace. But then I'm a guy who likes to write with a fountain pen on pieces of paper and fold them up and put them in envelopes and send them to friends. You know, I don't know about you, but I find it just embarrassing to have to ask my kids or grandkids or any young person I can find just to help me get online and make a doctor's appointment with a new doctor in one of those hyper-encrypted, password-protected, HEPA-compliant, it's hard to get into websites, and every doctor's got their own portal, and their own portal needs their own password, and if you don't know the password, you got to reset the password, and you reset the password, and you go, I just want to go to, I don't want to go to, break that computer. And then I get mad at me for getting mad at me. And you know, I like to talk to people and know what we're talking about and get subtext by the way you're looking. How do you get subtext from a text? And much less understand what all these emojis are. They're always coming up with new ones. How am I supposed to know where they are? There's no textbook for emojis. And all those letters, you know, the random letters, LOL, HMU, IDK, I don't know what they mean. And, you know, I do use a computer. Sure, I have to. You can't there's no choice. Somehow we lost our choice. You can't be a functioning member of the society at some level without a computer access. So I use a computer, and especially as a professional entertainer, I'm supposed to have a social media presence and maintain my social media presence, which means updating. And I just can't get the hang of Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, X. I'm supposed to somehow be able to fit what I'm saying and think about it into 15 seconds or less so I can make some kind of clip so somebody will click on it and make it go viral or something. And Facebook, I use Facebook. My peers are on Facebook, so I use it. And it's become like a hostile territory because you have to be really careful. Is it a real Facebook friend? Like how you're supposed to know who these 2,000 real Facebook friends are, but okay. Is it a real one or someone who's hacked a real friend and is now trying to hack my account? And even answering this has become potentially dangerous, right? You can't just answer the phone anymore. No one will answer the phone either because you don't know if it's a real call or it's a spammer or a scammer or someone who's spoofing a number of a real person. Then you don't want to be spoofed. I understand that's very dangerous. I don't. I feel like that guy who went on a cruise ship halfway around the world, and he got off in a foreign country went to one of those excursions into the shopping market with a group of other passengers, and somehow he got separated from the group and lost track of time. Next thing he was running down to a dock waiting, and then the ship had taken off without him, left him in a foreign country, not knowing anybody, not knowing the language. That's what I feel like when I'm stuck at my computer. And it's sometimes funny, and sometimes it just pisses me off. So part of me thinks I'm going to find a tech-savvy friend who's patient and kind and speaks my language and is going to teach me how to become more tech-savvy myself. I'm really going to do that someday soon. And then another part of me thinks, yeah, well, AI is advancing so quickly and computers are changing so rapidly that soon enough the computer will be able to read my mind and just deliver what I want online just by reading my mind. And then there's another part of myself that says, Rudi, that's just you procrastinating again. Wanting someone to come save you and make your life better, or you're wanting technology to change and make things easier. You're just putting off. Yeah. You know why? My favorite day of the week is mañana. I'm gonna dig a great big garden in my backyard. Grow organic vegetables, they say it isn't hard. I'm gonna till the soil, I'm gonna plant the seeds. Give them lots of water and pull all of the weeds. Mañana, yes, I'm gonna do it mañana. Oh, 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 mañana. Gonna get around to it mañana. I'm gonna get me some exercise, lose some of this weight. My waistline keeps expanding from the tacos that I ate. I'm gonna do a bunch of sit-ups, run a lot of laps. Right after lunch tomorrow when I wake up from my nap, mañana. Yes, I'm gonna do it mañana. Oh, 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 mañana. I'm gonna get around to it mañana. I'm gonna clean my house from the bottom to the top. Once I start that vacuum cleaner, man, I just won't stop. I'm gonna mop the floor, I'm gonna dust the shade. To help me get the hard part done, I'm gonna hire a maid mañana. Yes, I'm gonna do it mañana. Oh, 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 mañana. Manana. Gonna get around to it manana. I'm gonna get more tech savvy, learn stuff online, then organize my passwords so I can access them all the time. I'm gonna post on social media every single day as soon as I can figure out just what I wanna say manana. Yes, I'm gonna do it manana. Oh, mañana, gonna get round to it mañana, mañana, or maybe the day after. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really good at procrastinating because I've had a lot of practice. You know what else I'm really good at? Daydreaming. I seem to spend more time daydreaming and reminiscing, thinking back on old friends and some fun experiences we had, thinking about when life was slower and softer, easier, seemed like. I remember me and my brothers, we'd get on our bikes and we'd ride around town all day long, here and there. Then when we work up a sweat, we'd head down to the river and jump into our favorite swimming hole. Parents never worried about us. They didn't worry about us getting into trouble or getting into anything because they knew people were watching out for us. People just kind of watched out for each other. At least that's how it seemed in my memory. And I don't know. I like drifting back. How I wish that I could go back to those bygone days, to a time of simple pleasure and a slower pace. Sitting on the front porch talking, neighbors walking by, lying in the grass just watching cloud shapes in the sky. How I long for conversation without cell phone or TV. Always buzzing, flashing, beeping, interrupting you and me. For we had these high-tech gadgets, we had much more time. How I wish that I could go back to a slower state of mind. Sure, we all got hot and sweaty. No one had AC. Still, it always felt so fine each time there finally came a breeze. I feel the breeze in the trees, singing soft, sweet melodies. How I wish that I could go back to those bygone days, to a time of simple pleasure and a slower pace. Sure, I know it will not happen, still I like to spend some time. Take a breath and slowly go back. Take a slow breath and just drift back to a slower state of mind. Yeah, it feels good to drift through the past, but it feels even better to be fully present. That's where the real juice is for me. And be open to what's coming in the future. Yeah, I know that. One thing I don't want to do is get stuck in the past. I don't want to be one of those guys who just like hangs on to the past and clings to what he's known and it's thinking it's the best just because of what he knows it's the best. I don't want to get stuck wearing some old worn out shoes just because they used to be comfortable. First step, best step, no thought at all. Bumped your head and hit the wall. Never mind, try again. Step right up and take a spin. Doesn't matter what you say, you cannot win if you do not play. You're scared to try something new. Step on out of those worn out shoes. Step on out, doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out of those worn out shoes. Yeah, you've been around the block once or twice before. Don't go knocking on the same old door. Might as well try a different route. Change things up from the inside out. Doesn't matter what you've done, It's never too late to change things some. You're scared to try something new. Well, step on out of those worn out shoes. Step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out of those worn out shoes. Ready to step out with me? Here's try it now. Step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out of those worn out shoes. Yeah, take 'em off, shake 'em off, don't just wear 'em. You got big dreams, might as well share 'em. If they're too small, whatever you do, step on out of those worn out shoes. Step on out, doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, step on out of those worn out shoes. Ready to really step out? Grab your air guitar, your imaginary saxophone, trombone. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. What, you say you don't do stuff like that? Come on. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Step on out. And change is hard. It's hard to, and the older I get, the harder it is to change. Because, you know, I got habits, I like them. My director said you should look up at the audience more. I like looking down at the ground. Scary stuff out there, and if you open your eyes and really look, see what it is I'm resisting. Ay, ay, ay. Thing is, when I find myself particularly resisting some change, something I'm being asked to accept and I don't want to change, and there's a lot of those things, I try to remember the time that I found a snake in the backyard. Yeah. Now, some of you may know, we live on the river just a couple of miles south of here in Mission Reach. Nice place surrounded by acres and acres of green space right on the river. That's great. But I know for a fact there's a bunch of poisonous snakes there. Rattlesnakes and copperheads and water moccasins and coral snakes. And so I saw this big snake there. I jumped back. And then I looked again and a little embarrassed to realize it was a snake skin. But really fresh and intact, and you could still see where the eyes had been, and ooh, big. And I was intrigued, so I picked it up and I took it inside and went on the internet, which has its uses for looking up random stuff, and quickly found out how little I know about snakes. For instance, did you know that most snakes shed their skin at least once or twice a year? And that while they're growing a new skin underneath the old skin, they can't see very well because for a time there, they've got two sets of scales growing over their eyes, so they're functionally blind. And so they get real defensive and just want to hunker down in their burrow, and they get real sluggish and just don't do anything. And then finally, when the new skin is ready, the old skin starts to split right at the nose. And then the snake knows it's time to get out of the burrow and find a rock or some bark and rub up against it, and that skin just starts peeling off, and then it wriggles out of its skin and goes on into its best snake life with new energy and new skin. I mentioned that because when I find myself really irritable or depressed because I'm having to change something in my diet or in my exercise routine, or some political view about whoever's in power. I have to get myself a break and say, maybe I'm just an old snake that needs to shed some skin, and be a little kinder to myself, a little more understanding, and give that old time to slough off, because it will, if I just, if I could just be kinder with myself, which I should, and I could, and I would. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a hero. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a saint. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been somebody else. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I ain't. I shoulda, coulda, woulda done things differently. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, this I know. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I didn't. So I just let it go. Well, I know I could have done things better, but it's strictly theoretical, you see. There's only one thing I can be sure of. I did the best I could at being me. I'm doing the best I can at being me. But I tried doing better because I knew I should be better, and I knew I could be better. And so I tried self-help groups, I tried 13-step groups and 12-step groups, and I tried primal scream. I tried so many times I can't begin to tell. And finally one day I realized, hey, I don't need to shit on myself. It doesn't help to shit on myself. Oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a hero. Sing it with me, yeah. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a saint. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been somebody else. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I ain't. Well, I shoulda, coulda, woulda done things differently. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, this I know. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I didn't. So I just let it go. Well, here comes the audience participation part of it. I like the way some of you sang along. Maybe you'd clap along, who knows? Or maybe you would think about your shoulda, coulda, woulda. Or maybe it's more like a shouldn't, a couldn't, a wouldn't, a but you doulda. And it could be something big, like you should have made peace with your parents before they died. Now you have to spend a lot of money on therapy to come to peace. Or maybe something small, I don't know. Whenever it comes to that part in the song where I says, I let it go. I let go of my shoulda, coulda, woulda. You let go of your shoulda, coulda, woulda. You let go of your shoulda, coulda, woulda. You all be a little bit lighter. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Won't you sing and clap with me? I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a hero. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been a saint. I shoulda, coulda, woulda been somebody else. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I ain't. I shoulda, coulda, woulda done things differently. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, this I know, sounding good. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I didn't. Ready? Got yours in mind? Here we go. Hey, I just let it go. Easy to sing about, harder to do, especially when we're asked to let go of someone you love and feel that empty place inside here where that friend or family member or pet used to live. And now there's only the space. The last farewell comes ever hard. No words can tell, no walls can guard. The last farewell. The last sweet time must come and go. No ties can bind or hold them near. The last farewell. But don't despair or withhold love to keep the pain of loss at bay. And do not pause, nor joy delay, because it may well come today. The last farewell. No one can say, no sage foretell when it may come, the last farewell. But come it will, the last farewell, the last farewell. In the river of life, everything changes and everything stays the same. You ask yourself, how is that possible? And still the fact remains that change is a constant, life is in motion, whirling around in a dance. And we are invited to help one another wake ourselves out of our trance and dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange. We are surrounded by so many mysteries, so much seems hidden from view. But as we remember to nurture each other, then there's something brand new. For soon we discover that helping each other means helping ourselves in return. Giving and growing, living and knowing, we all have so much to learn. As we dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange. Dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange. But why, asked the little voice in the corner of your head, and how cry your fears from under the bed? When, asked the timekeeper, exactly on time, shouldn't we check with bookkeeping first and wait a while instead? And just when I'm about to turn and run the other way, I look into your eyes and find a reason to stay. And dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange. Dance with the changes, dance with the changes, dance with the changes, embrace the strange. Embrace the change, embrace the change. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, if you'll forgive me, I needed to make these notes because I didn't want to skip anybody in the thank yous. I really want to thank Chuck Squire, my director, very patient. A theater therapist is really what he is. George and Kat Cisneros and their amazing staff here at Urban 15. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, serving our cultural city. Yes, sir. Urban 15. I'd like to acknowledge, too, that this production is made possible by the City of San Antonio Department of Arts and Culture Individual Artist Grant. Thank you. I'm deeply grateful to Karen Lugos, who's here somewhere representing the Department of Arts and Culture. Thank you so much for your good work on behalf of the arts in San Antonio. Any of you working artists out there, any medium, performing, visual, dance, the city has money to support you in your art if you're willing to just ask for it. And I did, and this is made possible because of that. I've got to acknowledge the amazing support I've received from the powerful woman who not only produced this show today, but has made it possible for me to live my passion for 45 years, Zet Bear. And finally, thank you for being here for this first iteration of the show. I'm sure it'll keep changing as I learn how to do this better, but this work wouldn't be possible without you being here and supporting this with your energy and your purchases and donations, all of which will go toward producing more of this performance in other venues. I really hope to perform it in more theater settings, of course, but I also want to take it out into the community, into retirement centers, senior centers, AARP conventions, wherever my peers are gathered, where we can think and feel these things together, right? And of course, I got lots more music besides just these 11 songs about aging, and I love to sing them in concert. So please, if you aren't already on my mailing list, please consider signing my email list so I can stay in touch and let you know about future gigs, whether it's performances are ready or not, or playing Rudi and the Rudiments at the Cave without a name in Bernie, or any other cool things that I get to do and share my music. So again, thank you so much. I've got one more song for you as we prepare to go our separate ways and dance with the changes in our lives. I would say adios, amigos. Adios, amigos, goodbye, my friend. May God be with you till we meet again. May the road be level, may you travel with ease. Adios, amigo, may you go in peace. Adios, 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 wherever you go. Adios, 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 adios. Remember that there's someone who loves you so. As we leave each other and go our separate ways, may God be with you every step of the way. Wherever you go, wherever you do, adios, amigos, may God be with you. Adios, 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 wherever you go. Adios, 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 adios. Remember that there's someone who loves you so. May you walk in beauty and harmony. May you see some good in all you see. May you feel love surrounding you everywhere you go and everything you do. Adios, 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 wherever you go. Adios, 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 adios. Remember, I hope to see you at my next show, which will be another showing of this on February 23rd. Please spread the word and get the other folks out to share in this joy. Adios, 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 wherever you go. Adios, 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 adios. Remember that there's someone who loves you so. That guy named Rudi in San Antonio. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Shooby-doo-doo-wah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Feel the breeze in the trees, singing soft, sweet melodies, melodies.